Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we've got some very interesting videos to watch. As always, don't forget to physically interact with the video in some way by either leaving a like or a comment. This is what it takes for the algorithm to understand that you want my videos to continue to show up in your feed. And I've noticed a significant improvement since you all started doing that. It's unfortunate that we have to fight the algorithm, but it is working. I'd also like to apologize if you can hear my yard being mowed in the background. Hopefully that's not too loud. I don't think they're going to be around my office for much longer. Hopefully the sound's not being picked up too bad and it's not going to be annoying to watch the video. But with all that out of the way, let's get after it.
Hey yo, they say that sun is kicking up in Arizona, bro. This crazy. What the? Bro, you see the steam?
So it's... Oh my...
Look at the soda.
Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? Oh.
Melt it off! That's how hot it is. It melted off.
That's great. Look at the candy, bro. The candy's melting. The candies have melted? People can't do it no more, bro. They're getting out of Phoenix.
No more moving. Cannot do this anymore. I was outside for 15 minutes doing pickup of my kids. This is 15 minutes. I'm done. I can't. I'm leaving.
It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat is what I used to say when I moved to Arizona 10 years ago, and I was dumb because I came from a place that was a little bit humid, and so since it's a dry heat, it's so much better. Except for now, it's the middle of March, and it's already above 100. It's a dry heat. It's bull. It's bull. Because you know what else is a dry heat? You know what else is? An oven, a literal oven, which is what it feels like when you step outside of your front door in Arizona right now. An oven, a little campfire, that's a dry heat.
Bro, some people are even having heat strokes, and apparently it's wintertime. It's wintertime in Phoenix, bro. This is not even summer or spring. But this guy was riding through on his electric unicycle, and he seen this man on the floor, bro. Apparently he had a heat stroke.
Hey, bro, you alright? Good? You need help? Want me to call 911?
Bro, he ain't saying nothing, man. Look at it.
It's an electric car.
It's still winter and we're talking about triple-digit heat.
Yes, it's bonkers.
Fire Captain Adam Skyver expects the week to only get bit. Not just the triple-digit air temperature, it's the heat radiating off the ground that feels closer to 130 that his first responders can.
Do y'all hear that, bro? The sun is making it feel like it's 130, and it's only wintertime, bro. It's not even spring. All I gotta say is, let's get this. Bro, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's get it. Peace.
You hear that sound? That sound in the background? That's my AC working overtime to keep me cool. But I'm still not cool, and I'm also sweaty, but you can't see the sweat because it's such a dry heat. It's already off my body, and like good for BO, but bad for hydration.
I can't help but wonder, with all these record high temperatures, and it's not even spring yet, so we shouldn't be seeing anything like this. But think about this. They're experiencing record high temperatures in March in Arizona, and they're telling us already in March that by August of this year, we're expected to get a super El Nino, that we're going to have record high temperatures. But is anyone actually surprised by this? We keep having these crazy weather anomalies, and every time one occurs, we find out within weeks that there were flying airplanes all over the area a couple days before, releasing who knows what kind of chemicals into the atmosphere. So how could they not just expect us to assume that that's the same thing that's going on here? If they can make it rain or snow, why would we not also assume that they can increase the temperature? And if it doesn't have anything to do with that, I would say that would be even more alarming. Because if it has nothing to do with that, then it would kind of seem like this whole system that we live in is starting to break down. And I can't help but to see that as another sign of the end times.
Now this is insane and completely unrelated. You know how Nebraska is like in this ridiculous wildfire right now, right? And mainly areas being burnt are rancher areas with cattle, you know, in areas that they grow food, stuff like that. Well, completely unrelated. Do you know that the US military is doing a whole bunch of stuff to that area sometime soon, making a 4-lane highway, increasing, you know, residents for the Air Force to 160%, a whole bunch of stuff like that. This discovery actually comes from Jessie Lynn over on Twitter. She was able just to, find out what was going on there, completely unrelated from all the fires going on. By the way, am I the only person that actually credits people for their own discovery? I get an app every day and I see hundreds of copies of my video and other people's videos, and our names never come up. All the political leaders right now are just falling right in line for 2030. If we would even make it to 2030. Remember that Lockheed insider told me that, when you see all these areas just straight up burning down, then, we're getting really, really close. And unrelated, everything has been burning down for about 2 years now. Oh, by the way, completely unrelated, again, onto a completely different subject. They already received priority funding before the fire came. So what do y'all think about this? Let me know below.
Again, like every other major catastrophe that we've seen in the past handful of years, it all seems purposefully orchestrated, just like the fires that hit Hawaii, just like the flooding that hit the mountains in North Carolina. And I think this is likely a combination of a couple of things. For one, we know that they have this depopulation agenda. What better way to pull that off than to make it so that there's not enough food to go around? And they don't want us eating real meat, so they're not worried about all these cattle not being able to be raised in the United States anymore. They plan to feed us all this garbage that's grown in a lab. And we know that this is their agenda. And when I first came across this video and saw that this is happening right now, my mind immediately went to the cause of all these other natural so-called disasters. I immediately started wondering what kind of precious metals are buried under the soil there that they'd like to get their hands on. And looking into that idea, that's when I came across this video.
Wouldn't it be crazy if there is currently raging the worst wildfire in the history of Nebraska? Over 700,000 acres have been burned in like the last 3 days. Yeah. Have you heard a single thing about it in the media? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. We've all been arguing about whether BB is or not, or whether the clearly AI videos are AI or not, while they literally burn our agriculture out from under us. Let's take a look. For 800,000 acres of breeding land for cattle have been scorched. That equals about 40,000 cows that now just can't even be raised in Nebraska. Not good. But beef prices aren't too bad right now, right? What's the price of a steak right now? I mean, we got 21 wetlands now, unique wetlands, key, vital to our ecosystems, are now at risk, yada yada. But gee, I wonder if this has anything to do with the Elk Creek project currently going on in central Nebraska. Now, granted, the project sites are they're not too close to the fires. But now the Elk Creek mining project is being operated through Neocorp, which received $10 million from the Department of Defense last year. They are drilling for unique scandium and titanium, basically stuff used in fighter jets. So, having said all that, I'm sure these fires are completely natural, not even newsworthy. We shouldn't even be talking about it right now, probably.
Do you all remember several months back whenever we were watching a lot of content on the 15-minute cities, when it was revealed that their intention is to shove us all into these small 15-minute cities, just have us all living right on top of each other like rats in a cage, so that what's left of the population is all densely packed into a small area. And then, outside of those 15-minute cities, where there's literally no one to keep an eye on what they're doing and call them on anything if they're doing something that's not good for the country, they'll be able to mine the entire landscape. There won't even be any more national parks. They'll just go through and mine everything. And the flow of information is going to be so tightly controlled, we won't even know they're doing it. And by the time people start to figure that out, it'll be too late to do anything about it. So they're going to stick us in these 15-minute cities, and I would say a good deal of the population is going to spend the majority of their time plotting on how to escape. And then if they ever do actually manage to escape and get out of the boundaries of these cities, there's going to be nothing there for them to retreat to. You'll have no choice but to starve to death with no shelter over your head or go back to the 15-minute cities. And all of the actual data, the actual facts about what their game plans are that have come out in regards to this, everything would indicate that that's the future they want for us. All the while, they're feeding us this false narrative about humanity becoming a multi-planetary species. I think the biggest silver lining here is they'll never pull it off. I don't think they have the time left to be able to pull off what they're wanting to do. I feel like as obvious as it is that this is the future they want for us, it's even more obvious that we are in our final days.
We're entering what's called a ladderless society because of AI. The disappearance of any start point in working life. Entry-level work will soon almost be gone. Historically, a person could start as a clerk, a delivery driver, work at a fast food outlet, and work their way up through society. But in a corporate-heavy AI world we're heading towards, those rungs in society are kind of gone now. And worse than that, it will lock people out. Since the poor can't afford the high-end hardware or specialized training to compete with AI, even with that, they likely won't compete with AI. They become locked out of the private economy entirely, living on a likely low universal basic income that will only just cover basic life expenses, like most government assistance does today. The jobless in society will be vast. Little to no opportunities will be made available in the new world. And how do we know this? It's slowly happening already. In early 2025, global entry-level job postings fell 45% below the 5-year average, a sharper drop than even during the 2020 lockdowns. In the US, unemployment rate for recent college graduates doubled in 2025. In just the first 3 months of 2026, over 45,000 tech jobs have been cut globally. Amazon cut 16,000 corporate roles in January of 2026, and Block, a Jack Dorsey company, laid off 40% of its workforce specifically to pivot to an AI-first model. To put it simply, humans are being priced out of the market. We can all feel it coming, or anyone paying attention can anyway. The only question is, what happens next and how fast is it going to happen?
It is so beyond frustrating seeing what humanity is doing to itself. With all of these crazy advancements in technology and as fast as things are ramping up, we could have literally designed a utopia for all of humanity, where no one worked unless they decided that they wanted to, where everyone had some robot butler that would just wait on them hand and foot and do anything difficult that they didn't want to do, where everyone would be able to eat fine dining restaurant quality meals for every meal because they could just have a robot prepare it for them. And we could have used technology to figure out the best way to raise cattle at maximum head per acre, the best way to grow produce, and we could have literally installed a technologically advanced farm basically in every town across the United States or across the world. We could have used technology to easily provide for the entire population, even a population 2 or 3 times the size of what we have right now. The entire world could have lived in a perfect utopian society. But because there's a small group who wants to be in control of everything, they want to be the boss and call the shots. This is the future that we're looking at.
The federal government has just registered the domain name Aliens.gov. We are truly living in the weirdest timeline. When I saw this headline, I thought it was fake. I thought it was AI, and I went and looked it up, and it's real. According to records, public data this week, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency registered the domain name. They're the ones that manage all of the .gov domains. As of today, the website is not active. There's no content on there, but it is registered. And apparently there was no formal announcement that came with this, and officials didn't release a statement. But when asked about it, White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly told Decrypt News to stay tuned. Decrypt News also said that the statement was accompanied by a smiling alien emoji. So registration was apparently managed by an agency called CISA, which is within the Department of Homeland Security. Obviously, this domain registration comes about a month after Trump said that he would begin identifying and releasing records related to alien life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and UFOs citing public interest. And this is after Obama said in an interview that aliens were real, which he then clarified to say that he didn't know for sure that they were real. Either way, wildest timeline, y'all. Wildest timeline.
You know, when you really stop and think about this, just the fact that they know that this other being exists, they know that they're not human, and they know that the time is coming that they're going to have to reveal them to us. But this whole idea that we're just going to refer to them all as aliens is a little suspicious. If these so-called aliens really did travel here from a different planet, just like we have a word for our species, the human race, they would have a word for their species, and it's not going to be alien. So why would they not be quietly registering the domain for that word? I can't help but to think that the only reason they're wanting to stick to this word aliens is because they want us to view these beings as coming from another planet. And the word aliens we have associated with off-planet beings. But these are not beings from another planet. That's just the narrative that they want us all to buy into. But I think that the desire to push that narrative when they already know the truth, I think that's the reason that they keep using this word aliens. What do you all think?
So a new lockdown is being introduced around the world. And no, it's not like the 2020 lockdown. They're calling it an energy lockdown. And what that means is that a lot of countries are now putting in measures like you should only work from home. You should only leave your house for essential travel. Airlines are also cutting their flights. American Airlines have just dropped their flights by 5% this week. Now, energy prices are going up, and it's going to become a situation where some people actually cannot afford to leave the house because energy prices are so high. If you go to your local petrol station right now, the prices are already up and the full effect hasn't even hit yet. I mean, don't get me wrong, the work from home situation, that sounds like a benefit for a lot of people. So I can get why for a lot of people that's awesome and that's great. But when you're having governments tell you only go out for essential travel or avoid any other travel apart from essential travel, not great. And remember, back in 2020, lockdown was only meant to be for 2 weeks. It lasted 2 years. And how far is this going to go to the point where it becomes mandatory? Because no one thought that that was going to happen in 2020, but it did. So could we go down that same road again? Is it going to be the same as 2020?
Does this look suspicious to anyone else? Does it not look like they're intentionally trying to completely destroy our economy? That they're going to get people used to not being able to leave their house, that they're going to get people used to not being able to afford anything until we eventually reach the point that there's no money being put back into the economy because no one has any, and the people who do have it aren't able to go anywhere to spend it. And then by the time we reach that point, they're just going to come out and say, uh-oh, all paper currencies have completely collapsed. And by that time, everyone will be absolutely sick of barely scraping by, of watching their friends and neighbors starve to death, and they'll roll out this digital currency and tell everyone that they're going to give you a government income, and people will sign up for it left, right, and center, completely overlooking the fact that the government is the one that created this problem to begin with. We've literally heard them talking about trying to institute this, and now we're watching all these pieces just slowly fall into place. And there's not even a blueprint to prepare for something like this. But Scripture tells us in the end days there's going to be wars all over the place, and you're going to hear horrible stuff on top of horrible stuff and to not worry about it. I'm putting my hope in the possibility that we get raptured out of here before this stuff comes to fruition. And this might sound like a dark silver lining, but this is genuinely how I see it. At least they can only take your life once. After that, they can't touch you.
Okay, I don't want to be right about this, but literally the writing is on the wall. We're going to have energy lockdowns. We're going to have fuel rations. It's starting in the UK. It started in Asia. Qatar just had the biggest liquid natural gas facility in the world bombed to smithereens, up to estimates of 17% of how much oil and natural gas can be processed there, gone overnight. Flights are being canceled all throughout Asia because of dwindling fuel, and throughout Asia, they're telling people to stay home and save fuel because it's running out. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed, and even if it opened up right now, it would take months to get everything back up to speed. This delay we just saw in the last 21 days of this war is going to have repercussions. Fuel rationing and new 50 miles an hour speed limit plan is on the table for all of the United Kingdom. And at the same time, in the United States, because of the partial government shutdown and lack of TSA employees, staffing issues, flights are getting canceled. This is going to be a different flavor of what happened in 2020. And I don't want to be correct about that, but it's shaping up to seem exactly like that.
I feel exactly the same way. I wish that I was beyond wrong about all of this, that I was seeing something that just simply isn't there. But the writing is on the wall. You just can't see all this stuff happening right now and not think that it's going to lead exactly to what they've been telling us they're planning on doing. Everyone's just got to do their best to be as prepared for this as they can possibly be. And more importantly, be prepared for what comes after.
A man just got detained for breaking into Area 51 at nighttime, and he told officers that he is a NASA contractor investigating a time anomaly. So this is obviously insane, but this newly released body cam footage is showing a man being detained by security after driving into a restricted zone near Area 51 in the middle of the night. And what he told officers is genuinely one of the wildest things ever caught on camera. Whenever they asked why he was there, the man claimed that he was a NASA contractor and said that he drove to the base because of a time dilation anomaly. Dude, he said it completely calmly like he was giving a status report. He wasn't panicked or confused at all. He literally just straight up said, I'm here because of a time dilation anomaly.
Something about time travel or... Not travel. Dilate. It's experiencing this time multiple times.
Okay. Now, to be 100% clear, none of this has even been verified yet because there is no confirmation that he actually works for NASA, and a time dilation anomaly is obviously a wild statement. The footage is 100% completely real, the body cam is real, and the way that this man speaks is what's making it go viral right now because he doesn't sound like someone that's making things up. So the question is, was this guy out of his mind, or does he know something that nobody else does?
I did some digging around, and I actually found the police body cam footage that you can go watch in its entirety. And there's likely been stuff cut out of it because it has been edited. It was someone's YouTube video. But from what I could find, this is the longest version of it that exists online. I'm going to drop a link in the description of this video for all of you to go check it out. I'm not quite sure what I think about this. For one thing, if the guy's saying that he's from NASA, then I'm not going to believe anything he's saying if he does work for NASA. But he also says that he's just a contractor for NASA. But the thing that I found the most interesting is he asked the cop, are you familiar with the book of Revelation? So he's either the real deal and didn't stop and think that this police body cam footage where he was talking to these cops may eventually go public, or he's one of the calmest, crazy people I've ever seen. The guy comes across as being genuine. But y'all go check it out by using that link in the description of the video and let me know what you think about it. I've watched it. I can't make my mind up on it. I'm hoping that some of you will catch some clues that I'm overlooking. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I really appreciate you watching these videos with me today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you come back to join me. I'm so very sorry for the sound quality in today's video. If I would have paused filming and waited for the people outside to finish mowing my yard, I wouldn't have been able to get a video out today. I've got to get these videos finished before my kids get home from school. I try to make it a point to not allow the YouTube stuff to interfere with my family life. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.